Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to install handbrake extenders on an S13. So here's the handbrake extender here. I've already installed one. This is the opposite side, but you can just see the difference in length between the two. You can see the extended one is obviously longer, so it gives it a better lever point, so you get better mechanical advantage on your handbrake. So you will have to rip it a little bit more, but it'll be easier. So you have to rip it a longer length, but yeah, it'll be a lot easier to rip, and you can hopefully lock up the wheels a little bit easier. Basically, what it looks like, this is a rear caliper, and the handbrake assembly is here. So the arm we're actually replacing is this one here. So what you have to do is first knock off the spring. The spring will sit like under there. Sorry. The spring will sit under that one, and then that little loop goes over here. So first what you need to do is smash off the spring, and you can just use a flathead screwdriver and just lever it off. Just push it over and it will flick off. Then you can pull that spring off, and the one in my car is a lot easier. Anyway, when you pull that spring off, you can undo this nut here. It comes off anti-clockwise. So on the driver's side of the car, you can just react against this pin to undo the nut. However, on the other side, you have to react against the actual braking of the lever to undo the nut. So undo that nut before you take the caliper off the car. However, we have to take the caliper off the car to install this. We don't have to, but it's a lot easier. You've got a lot more room to work with. Then what you have to do, it'll actually retract back too far and you won't be able to get it on. So to get this on, you have to actually pull it back a little bit. So what you do is you get two nuts and you lock them against each other. Put this on, then put the two nuts on, lock them against each other, and then you can turn it and then push the extender on. So now that I've explained it outside of the car, I'll actually show you what it looks like inside the car. So now we're going to install this. Okay, now looking on the car, what we have to do is actually undo this arm in order to release the handbrake cable, because you won't be able to pull the cable off without taking this arm off. So what we have to do is take this clip off here and then undo this nut under here, which is a 14mm nut. Take that arm off, and then that will release pressure off this cable, and you can undo the cable off the actual handbrake arm. If you're doing it on the passenger side, however, you don't want to release the cable just yet, because we're going to need that. Actually, no you don't, but I don't know, probably a good idea to keep it on there anyway. So what we're going to do now is first knock off this spring and get this out of the way. So I'm just going to use a flathead screwdriver and maybe a hammer and knock it forward on a sort of an angle, and it will push it off. And then you can take the spring off, which will get us to our nut. Then I'm just going to use a shifter, or the correct spanner, and undo this nut. So it comes off anti-clockwise, so I'm going to have to pull against me, which is actually going to pull the handbrake on and lock against the actually lock the handbrake on, and then when the handbrake's locked as it can go, hopefully the nut will undo. Then once we've undone that, we can take that off, undo the cable, release the cable, and just slide the extender on, slide on the new one. Okay, I've removed the spring by just simply knocking it with a flathead screwdriver hammer and on the little end there, and it'll just knock off, and then you can pull the spring off. Now you do actually need to undo the cable first, because you can't get a spanner in there very easily. Well, you probably could, but it makes it a hell of a lot easier if you take the cable off first. So what I've done is remove the clip that holds this whole cable assembly together. So I've removed that clip there, and you just knock that off again with a flathead screwdriver hammer. And we're going to get a 14mm and undo this nut here, take that whole assembly off and release the cable, and then we can undo that nut there and pull the extender off. Okay, so I undid that nut. It's actually a 17mm. I used the spanner in the end and just wrenched on it and came off. It wasn't really that tight. And then just slip this off, so you can see the difference between the two. So now I'm just going to slip this back on. However, it returns back a little bit too far, so you can't actually get it on. So what you need to do is, yeah, like I said, put 2 nuts on there to lock the shaft, turn the shaft a little bit, and you can slip this on. It is a bit of a tight fit, so you do need to press a little bit and then use the nut to press it on the rest of the way. But yeah, I'm just going to slip it on now and show you the result. Okay, so I just slipped the handbrake extender on and double nutted it and turned it a little bit, and now it's on there, as you can see. Pretty bad lighting. There you go. So it's on there now. So now I just need to pop the spring back on. I've done up that nut. Pop the handbrake cable back on. Then I'm going to have to adjust the handbrake. Because this arm is longer, it actually it pulls the handbrake too much. So handbrake's actually like locked up right now. So yeah, I'm going to have to adjust it at the actual handbrake. There's a little adjusting nut, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So stay tuned. Okay, everything's back together. So we got the handbrake lever, the spring, the whole cable mechanism, and the clip. So now we're ready to adjust it. You can see that there's actually a gap there. It should be fully bottomed out on this pin. So the handbrake's actually on right now. No chance of moving that at all. So what we're going to do is back off the adjusting nut on the handbrake cable, and then we'll be all sweet. So I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so inside the car, what you got to do is rip up the handbrake and take the boot off. Now, it's going to be really hard to pull up because it's already engaged. But just use your brute strength, and this is as far as I can get it up. So that's enough just to get to the adjusting nut, because this will flex out of the way a little bit. And that's a 10mm screw. Just back that off, and that'll take off the tension, and just adjust it until you got a little bit of play in the handbrake. And that's about it, guys. So thanks for watching my video. Got any questions, comment below, and yeah, subscribe if you like my videos, and see you later.